Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my 2016 Model X P90D. So if you guys are familiar with that one, we got this back in 2016. And we're gonna be driving this car today from Pleasanton, California, all the way up to Lake Tahoe. So not a very far drive, should be pretty quick. We should only need to charge once. Now, since this car is a little bit older, about 8 years old now, the battery in the P90D was only a 90 kilowatt battery. So the battery will only give us about 220, 230 miles on the car. So not too far as charging. You know, the newer Model X long range version, I think we'll be able to do about 330 miles. So at least another 100 miles on the battery. So overall, we're gonna have the entire family in here, myself, my wife, my 2 kids, and a golden doodle. So we'll have a little more room in this than our older Model S, or the S that we just turned in as a lease return. So I'm gonna be doing a few videos on the Model X here, and we are still trying to decide what new EV to order for myself to drive around. So overall, gonna have a really good time in this car. Spend a couple days up in Lake Tahoe, where it's gonna be a little bit cooler. The weather here in Pleasanton has just been incredibly hot lately. Yesterday it was 102 degrees, and today it's supposed to be about 100 degrees. So overall, it's been quite hot. Looking to get a little bit cooler in Lake Tahoe, have some fun with the family. So come along for the ride, and let's enjoy the trip. And you can see all the ins and outs of charging, and where we end up staying at in Lake Tahoe, which is a just cool, really exciting hotel. I'm first time staying there, so we'll certainly highlight that for you guys, but should be a lot of fun. So come along for the ride. All right, just placed the address in for the hotel we're gonna be headed to. So you can see, it looks like we've got one charge start here from Pleasanton. Gonna kind of go through, head over east on 580, head north on I-5 it looks like, and we're gonna go through Stockton, and then through Sacramento it looks like, and then over to Placerville to charge. These are 150 kilowatt max, so we may look for a different place to charge where we can get 250 kilowatts plus. By the time we get to Placerville, you can see here, we're only gonna have 13% on the battery. And running the AC with this temperature, it's about 95 degrees right now. I don't know if we're gonna get there with enough. I usually drive slightly over the speed limit, 10 miles over the speed limit, so I don't know if we'll get there. So we may have to stop at a closer supercharger, and then we'll see if we get the 250 kilowatts. Looks like we're gonna need pretty much a full charge, and then headed into the next stop would eventually be obviously Lake Tahoe, which right now has us there at about 3:50 p.m. And after that full charge in Placerville, we'll have about 19% on the battery. The hotel we are staying at has a charger on it, but I think it's like a home fast charger, so it's only going to do about 20 miles an hour. So we'll see. But overall, it should not be too difficult of a road trip, but I do feel like we'll probably charge before Placerville. So anyways, let's hit it up here, and we'll see how well we do. All right, got the car fully loaded. I'm sitting here in autopilot, first version of autopilot, not FSD. You can see we got the whole family in here, myself, my wife. We got Walter relaxing. He's got this air vent right here because it is 102 degrees outside right now. And then both kids are comfortable in the back on their devices. The front is almost full, and the back we got about, I don't know, 70% full. Tons of room in the car, but on our way to Lake Tahoe. Okay, so it still has us being routed to Placerville, but now it's saying we're only going to have about 8% on the battery when we get there. Honey, let's find out what restaurants are available here. Placerville, by the way, is where we got Walter, our golden doodle. So that's where his mom and dad live, I think. Okay, so
We'll say it's supposed to be Placerville.
Placerville.
I know, I always say Placerville.
Okay,
myself.
Placerville. Okay. So looks like there's 11 chargers there. It's 150 kilowatts, which is fine because my Model X will only charge at 150, where the newer Teslas will charge at 250. So shouldn't be a problem at all. What kind of restaurants do we have around here? There's a Thai
teriyaki, and there's a Best Fish and Chip place, a Mexican place.
Okay. So it looks like there's some really good options there. Shouldn't have a problem. All right, well, we'll pull over and let you guys know what we end up choosing. Well, we've had a bit of a scare. The battery's down to 19 miles, and it says we're gonna show up with about 5 to 8% left. But one of the interesting things that have happened to me is that the car really slowed down. It's not letting me drive faster than 25 miles an hour. So it's been right now I've got it floored and I'm going 18 miles an hour. So if any of you are familiar with this, please put it in your comments down below. I've never had a situation. I've had this car down to 7 miles before and in the red, but it never slowed way down. And I'm wondering if it has to do with the heat. We turned off the AC on the car entirely, but the heat, it's about 103 degrees outside. So that might have to do with it, but never been in this situation before with a Tesla. If any of you have been, please make a comment down below. All right, well, that was a big scare. Yeah, like I said before, I've never experienced anything like that. So we ended up getting here to the supercharger, thank God. So we're in Placerville. We are charging, thank God. But you know, around this supercharger, these are all at 150 kilowatts, but you can see there's a lot of good stores here. Target, CVS, there's some really good restaurants. So there's a Habit Burger and then a Mexican taqueria and a few other options available. But I was pretty much sweating bullets there. I gotta tell you, honestly, I've never had a Tesla slow down like that. You know, it is 103 degrees outside right now. My guess is, if you guys know anything about this, I've had the battery down to like 7 miles before, even though I don't suggest it, it was down to 7 miles. But on the freeway, I was going all of 25 miles an hour. So most other people were getting pretty upset and driving around us, but I had no other option. I just turned my hazard lights on, got in the far right lane, tried to let people pass, and was able to do it. I honestly, 15 minutes ago, I did not think we were even gonna make it here. It was so bad. Then we had a big hill to go up, and then a second hill. And I really didn't, I think we were going like 18 miles an hour up the hill. It was really bad. So, so glad we made it here. And we are getting a full charge. But again, never had that happen before, even though I've had this battery really low. I think it's just the fact that it's so dang hot outside is my guess. Anyways, if you guys know anything about that, please put that down in the comments. I wasn't aware of that. I'm a little surprised it wasn't doing that before. I know when I did have only 7 miles on the car, it had more to do with, it might exactly have to do with just the heat. The heat itself might have been the situation. But anyways, overall, just thrilled to be charging, and we'll get back on the road here after a bite, and we're definitely gonna charge the battery all the way up. And here we go. All right, I think we got enough charge on the battery. We're at 180 miles now. But I'll tell you, I don't know if it's the heat, but we're only getting about 50 kilowatts top end, 50 kilowatts. I even moved the car to see if it was the charger. I think it's the fact that these older Teslas, they just have a much tougher time regulating the heat in the battery. And as you probably know, whenever you're charging a Tesla, it does put quite a bit of heat and tension on the battery to charge it up. The newer Teslas, frankly, they've been doing it now for the last, I don't know, 5-6 years, but the newer Teslas have a heat pump that helps regulate the battery and precondition it for charging. I think in this heat that we're in right now, again, it's like 103 degrees outside. I just think it's having a lot of tough time charging. You can see right now we're only getting 20 kilowatts, but even smack in the middle where you're usually able to peak what the charger will put out, so these should put out 150 kilowatts an hour, we were only getting 52 kilowatts. So it's taken us pretty significant amount of time to get this thing charged up. But here's the trip. It's about an hour and 23 more minutes, only 64 miles. However, getting from here to here, South Lake Tahoe, it is quite hilly. A lot of hills, a lot of ups and downs. I always like to have a little extra battery in those situations. But it is saying, just understanding the terrain, it is saying we're going to get there with 35% on the battery. So it should be more than enough for us to get going here. And so I'm just waiting for the family to walk back from the Habit Burger, which is where we had lunch. And then we're going to get back on the road, and hopefully we're able to make it all the way to South Lake Tahoe, which we should. And then we'll charge up there. On my way back, though, I'm really going to make sure that I don't get below 20%. You know, in general, we keep it above 20%, so we may have to stop twice. But that was pretty scary when I was on the highway and we were only going about 13 miles an hour. So that was pretty scary. So anyways, since this car is an older, we had the lifetime charging, so you can see there is no charge for this charging, which is really, really nice, as you can imagine. So gotta love that. But you know, the downside of having an older Tesla like this is you do run into little issues like this. I think older Teslas are great for just driving around town. You know, driving 30 minutes here, 30 minutes back, an hour here, an hour back, and probably not to be in a 103, 105 degree temperature is probably also good. But beyond that, you know, this is another reason to finally upgrade this bad boy and get one of the newer ones that have some of the more modern technology to deal with the heat and the cold. Living in California, it's probably mostly going to be heat for us. But anyways, that's kind of what we're dealing with. I thought this video would be very helpful for you guys to really get an understanding. And if you do have a Tesla that's good 8 years old, with this one currently has about 85,000 miles on it. In general, you just need to be a little careful and ready to deal with situations like this, especially if you're going to drive in the heat. I think this is mostly heat related with the battery, but if any of you know or have run into an experience like this, please put it in the comments below. Always looking to learn more information.
So pretty.
Part of the big reason we come up to Lake Tahoe is for these views and how beautiful it is. Just take a look at this. Wow. See Lake Tahoe off there in the distance, in the upper right corner. It's just amazing. Well, I'm happy to report we made it. We made it all the way to South Lake Tahoe. Temperature's quite a bit lower here, about 98 degrees. Not quite a bit, but a few degrees lower. Luckily, we have a nice little charger here, kind of like a home charger. So we should get about 22 miles or so an hour. So it should take about, I don't know, 6.5 hours or so to charge the car. Back up to the full battery of about 230 miles. So you can see also chargers for other types of EVs or hybrids, as you can see here. So if you guys are interested at all in coming to this hotel, it's a beautiful location. It's the lake's just this way about 2-3 blocks, so not far. And then the opposite direction up here, there's a lot of great shopping and restaurants and all kinds of great things. So really, really good location here for South Lake Tahoe. This hotel is kind of like a little boutique. So they have some cornhole boards, which I'm sure we'll be hitting up. We're here with 2 other families and their kids. There's also a little bocce court, so if you're into bocce, and then a small pool. They have some fire pits here as well, which they do s'mores every night at 7 p.m. So just, little slice of, wilderness in the middle of a nice little hotel. So not camping at all, but pretty nice. So it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. So as you guys know from this video, the car did have some challenges with the supercharging and the heat. And then obviously the battery was less than 20%. So we did have a number of problems there, but I think that was because of the heat as well. I have to do a little more research on it. Other than that, the car did great. Handled the corners really well, did a really good job. We're just getting all our bags we're actually, this hotel spawns all the way over here across a little street here, but there's a building 5, building 6. We're actually gonna be in building 6 there on the 2nd floor. So that's gonna, not a very far walk at all here from the charger. So anyways, that is our road trip up here to South Lake Tahoe. We're going to be getting unpacked and start having a good time, and you will see a road trip on the way back. Hopefully I'm able to manage the charging a little bit better. You should be able to see that in the next video clip here. So we're going to get this vacation started. Here we go.